Hey guys.
Just an introduction, right? Introductions first.
Derail.
It's a good thing we can edit this out.
Oh my gosh.
Hey guys. Welcome to the Warlord Part 3 reveal. That was in order of the way I wanted to say it. I'm Koshade.
Take three.
You totally just
I'm not
did
cutting
that.
this out. I'm going. I'm
Just
going.
going for it, man.
I'm Koshade. We have Shark over here. What's up, Shark? We have Puddinhead joining us again. That's the Arcane Duels crew. And we have Matt, also known as Ash on the forums, who is the designer for Mage Wars currently, especially these sets. What's up,
Yes, official title is set designer.
We do pretend he's important.
Matt?
That's good. At least someone does.
Okay, so obviously this is part 3. We've all seen the basic Warlord card. So, Puddin, do you want to tell us what kind of reveals we're seeing today? You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
What are we doing here today?
So we did some creatures, we did some enchantments, we did a strike and an attack spell already, but we have done 0 equipment. And this is a Warlord that, Warlords have equipment, right? And
Let's Warlord this.
honestly, this equipment is way cooler than a lot of the equipment that is in Arena.
Truth.
Oh man, you guys don't even know what you're about to see. So, why don't we just
We're
get
going to
right
start
to
off
it?
slow.
Let's get right to it.
Leather pants.
No, we already
I think
have
those are
this.
from the core set, aren't they?
I know.
Alright, so up first is Commander's Cape.
Awesome.
Read that for a second. Yeah.
So it's a lot like the ring in a lot of ways, except capes are kind of more rare in Mage Wars in general. I think it's why a lot of people use like the Elemental Cloak, just because it's like one of the cloaks that's out there.
There aren't a lot of other options
Yeah.
for it.
So a couple of points to note that are different about the cape than the ring. It does not work on spawn points. However, it does work on command spells.
And
So
it also stacks.
And it's for
Yeah.
3 mana as well.
and it
So
stacks
it's
with
ring
both the
cost.
command ring and with the general signet ring. It stacks with both of them. That's one thing that I really like about the Warlord. You know how the wizard gets more channeling and in school, the Warlord gets discounts in school. So the stuff that you do is just ends up being cheaper. And it's not a direct boost to your channeling, so it's not useful for everything, but it's particularly useful to a lot of the stuff that you do over and over again. And that's no different in Academy. The Warlord is going to have a serious piece of equipment that just makes everything he does cheaper.
Absolutely.
Yep. It's awesome. I'm a big fan of the cape.
So one of the things I really like off of it is that we talked about how the command spell innate to the Warlord, the battle orders, it costs 3 to give all of your creatures melee 1, or all your soldiers, I should say. And what I like about this cape is that it basically brings that down to 2, so suddenly using those stronger creatures are more viable in that way.
It's very efficient in that respect too.
Especially if you're controlling a formation.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You get another mana discount.
Yeah.
So
So,
something
all in
else. I don't know if anyone else wants to talk, but give me a chance. So something else I like about it is Gurmash. Actually, we saw a whole bunch of new commands such as the battle formations and things like that. But any of those enchantments that he casts, suddenly if you reveal it, you can get another discount. Suddenly things like the orders or the formations that cost like 3 to reveal, it'll cost you 2 or 1 depending on if you have the cape and the ring or not, and that can really start to add up if you start wanting to switch defensive ones or offensive ones.
Yeah,
Yep.
you get it every time you reveal a command, and all the formations are commands. And I believe all the formations are 2/2, right? 2 to
They're
cast,
all
2 to reveal.
2/1.
Oh, they're all
2/1.
2/1, so you can reveal them for free with the Commander's Cape.
Oh, that's actually really sweet.
Yeah.
Cast them from a Gurmash, reveal them for free.
Yeah.
Seems like a good deal to me.
Yeah. The
So
only
that's-
thing, you don't really get much of a discount on Brace Yourself, but that's okay.
Definitely can't
You don't
do
need a
that.
discount of brace yourself.
So I mean, an interesting
That
thing
is-
though is I mean, you are able to cast creatures, which in Academy, you know, there are no spawn points. So suddenly this makes it easier to get those creatures out and have mana to do other stuff.
I believe this is also the only cloak location item that's in school for Warlord.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The,
you're right, yeah.
Yeah, as a point of reference, Harry in the chat says that Gurmash is a familiar and you generally refers to the mage. We're talking about the reveal part. So when Gurmash casts the spell, yes, you don't get the discount, but you get his mana to discount it for you, basically.
Yeah, it's only
and
enchantments. Yeah.
the cape itself will discount the reveal of the spell, and your mage is always the one that reveals the spell.
Yeah, so I mean, essentially, you cannot use a mage's action. Gurmash will cast it, spending 2 on the enchantment. When you reveal it, the cape will then trigger because your mage is the one that reveals it.
Yeah. So it's
Like, it's
discount
the same
spell that was cast by Gurmash, but it's not a discount on the casting of the spell by Gurmash.
Right. Now, it is once per round, so you can't do a soldier and a command and get the discount twice. But usually you want to do one or the other.
All right. Should we go to the next
So-
card?
Yeah, that's Commander's Cape.
Yeah.
Tempered Folds. New pants.
More pants.
Yeah, that emphasis on more, right? Because
Yeah.
one of the things that we have not seen very much of is types of pants to take with you. And, these ones are not novice. So basically the Warlord is getting an upgraded version of leather pants if he wants to spend 4 mana instead of 2.
These are also not restricted, unlike the Force Masters pants,
Correct.
the illusory leggings. Any mage can use these.
The dance leggings. So yeah, I mean, so basically you're spending 2 more mana to gain over the leather pants to basically gain an ability to reroll an effect die. So it's kind of like getting the Temple of Dawnbreaker, that ability kind of once just for your mage, which can be useful.
It's essentially, what do we math it out to? Like a tough -6 for 1 attack per round
Yeah.
on average?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I could see that being useful for not wanting to get necessarily burned. It's kind of useful against things like Surging Wave, Acid Ball. You might as well get a use out of it that round, that sort of thing.
It's very useful in Academy against an Asp Swarm, though.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Because one thing you don't want happening to your mage in Academy is weak. So you can definitely keep your mage from getting the weak if you can soak in an Asp attack and get him to reroll.
Be strong.
Yeah, I mean, even
Yep.
things like Firestream that has a 6-up, these can be really nice against that as well, just to avoid a burn.
I think in Arena there's also a lot of use for these in that, like, someone's trying to wall cheese you with an air spell.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you don't want to be pushed through that wall of thorns, so try again.
Boom.
Now, air spells have pretty high chances to
Yeah,
get you,
but it's
though.
definitely worth
But
it.
assuming you're using it in Arena, if you're using it on the Dwarf, you already have tough
That's true.
-2. I mean,
That's true.
there are going to be other things affecting it.
Pairing this with the Dwarf and Colossus Belt could really get a lot of use out of the Tempered Folds that way. Because you get the -4, and then you make them, even if they make it, you can make them reroll it again to try and miss.
So let me ask you guys a quick question. Would you use this in a non-War Mage book?
Possibly. I mean, you're only looking at... I'm not going to say yes in every case.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Novice Leather chassis are really good because it's always 1 spell point. It's only 2 mana. But this is still, in most mages, is only going to be 2 spell points. And that's... If you're worried about conditions, this might not be bad. I know there are certain matchups I have trouble with conditions with, so maybe this comes out if you see someone playing real burn heavy shark, or someone who is playing a lot of zombies with taint or something like that.
Yeah.
So chat points out an interesting point. Force Master, you run Force Master or Leviathan scale, and suddenly Surging Wave isn't nearly as scary as it used to be.
That's a good
With
point.
Colossus Belt, but the Force Master has her own pants now, so it's going to vie for that spot for sure.
Yeah, it's like
So-
I feel like you just alternate.
So something I might run this for instead, just as an example, I might run this in someone who, say, pays triple for fire against the Fire Mage instead of Dragon Scale Hauberk.
That's a good idea.
interesting. Huh.
Except against me. Don't do that against me. Anybody else, you're good.
I don't know if there's much more to talk about this. I think it just needs to be used more. Would you ever
I think
put...
if you're going to be dancing around and trying not to get hit by things, having this extra piece of insurance for 2 extra mana might be worth it. So if I had a mage that was trying to not be in the fray and trying not to be getting hit by a lot of things, I mean, there's a stun build for wizards these days. There's of course burn builds and rot builds and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it could really make the difference in some of those matchups.
I'm pretty sure a stun build won the Origins tournament.
Oh my god, that tournament!
It's just a wizard, regular wizard.
I'm pretty sure a random stun won that last game too.
It was a series of like dice rolls that were like one under, one above, and then just I think it was a stun that ended up like just crushing it. That was a good game.
Agreed.
So I'm gonna move on.
Yep, let's do it.
Chat.
This is going to be awesome.
Ethereum halberd. Oh yes. I love this card, guys.
Yep, obvious.
Yeah, I'm really excited to use this. You were saying? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I'll let
No, go ahead.
Go
I mean, it's got the standard Academy weapon thing where your arena mage rolls another die to make it useful in both games. But the fact that this is the second piece of equipment that gives you a subtype for under certain circumstances, like everybody, maybe not everybody, but vast majority of people have really wanted the warlords themselves to be soldiers.
May I make a big clarification here?
Yeah.
You do not actually gain the soldier subtype.
Correct.
This was a learned lesson thing from Demon Hide Mask. Since you're not actually gaining it, it says you gain the benefits from formations as if you had it.
Right.
So that prevents a lot of people from abusing rules, and
you can't get armory, you can't get the
Right.
banner.
right. And there's that weird rules oddity where the target is only checked when there were enchantments revealed or something like that. I may be quoting that wrong, but it's something like that. And there's an oddity with the Demon Hide Mask that because you're actually gaining the subtype where you don't actually have that oddity.
I'm super psyched to use this in general. Like I like this in Academy. I liked it. It was fun. Dude, this is awesome in Arena.
I mean, so it's it's 3 dice piercing 1 for 4 mana, which in Academy that's pretty solid.
Especially solid.
It does take up both of your hand slots.
That's the downside.
But you can also give yourself battle orders, so it's another melee one.
So now you have both hands, so you can't really do the wands that a lot of people like to do with warlords. You're kind of stuck with the formation only thing, but I mean you have things like Gurmash that can cast battle orders. You can cast battle orders yourself, of course. It's good
honestly
in that way. Yeah.
The reason it's two-handed, from a design perspective, is this is made for a more aggressive mage, and if you set it up right, you can gain huge benefits from this each round. You can gain a formation and a battle orders that were never intended to be on your mage, which is why it's two-handed, to prevent you from being able to gain some utility with a wand or a shield or whatever. You can gain a lot of benefit from this. Even in Academy, if you run press the attack, that means if you do battle orders with this out, you're rolling, correct me if I'm wrong, 6 dice piercing 1, in Academy,
Yep.
and you may pay 2 mana to reroll your attack dice.
It's so good.
It's very aggressive, but you're giving up the utility because it's 2 hands.
It's got
It's
its own
5 dice.
utility built into it. I'm not sure it would be a.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's awesome as it is. I'm a big fan of this thing.
I mean, think about it like the Anvil Throne can give fast to himself now, if he wanted to, by using his battle orders. That's pretty useful in a lot of situations.
And can't he
Also
get an
2 hands.
extra tough -2?
Yeah, he can do. I believe he can do.
Or does it give the trait tough -2? It doesn't give. No, tough -2 would stack, wouldn't it?
Stacks.
It would
It fully stacks.
It would stack. Yeah.
So yeah, you could give yourself tough -2 and +1 armor.
There's a lot of really cool stuff, and oh man, I just love this card for so many reasons.
I think this is going to be better for the Anvil Throne Warlord, honestly, than for the Bloodwave Warlord. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think you're right. Well, it depends.
I agree and disagree. Go ahead, Shark.
Yes, it depends because I do like to. A lot of the testing I did when I was using in the arena was the charge +1, and suddenly you're rolling a ton of dice also into the melee. He rolls 5 dice on charge +1 with piercing 1 and any other
That's true.
soldier benefits you have given him, along with everybody else in his zone if you cast it. Hi, wow. However,
That's true. Yeah, I get that. Charge +1 would be really useful.
that being said, the Anvil Throne Warlord has some better guarding. I forget the order now, but don't they get some kind of extra bonus too? And so he can be like, all right, I'm just going to take all the hits.
Yeah.
I forget what it is.
Something
So the big thing I would point out for the Bloodwave versus Anvil Throne, I think they're both good options. But Bloodwave automatically has melee +1. So
That's
using
a
the
really good
Academy
point.
combo I spoke of previously, you can get much higher dice with this, with him, because he has melee +1 as a battle order or charge +1. So I mean, you can get multiple things that are good. They're more melee with him. It's just raw dice with Bloodwave. You're going to get more raw dice out of this.
Sure.
More WA dice?
More what?
Somebody's been playing some 40k too much.
Dude, I played 40k when I was a kid.
Speaking of
All about the
40k,
WA. Yeah.
I
That's
want to play some Dawn of War 3 because
Warlord DACA build.
Daka.
DACA is shooting though. The Ethereum Helm does not lend itself to shooting.
Also, why it's a two-handers, I didn't want there to be any weird oddity with a one-handed ranged weapon later and be able to give yourself ranged bonuses from battle orders and formations. That was a minor reason, but a reason nonetheless.
You do it Boulder.
Yeah, I didn't want Boulder Warlord even better than it already is.
Rock Boulder, man. Okay, so
Now it doesn't say Warlord only, but all the effects are Warlord only. However, in a team game,
Friendly.
You cast-
It says friendly.
That's when you do that, man.
on a team game, you could have anybody using the Ethereum Halberd and getting the benefits of formations and
I
battle
want to see a
orders.
2v2 with a Paladin Warlord and the Paladins using this.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
So the only thing I'll say that I like about the Bloodwave Warlord with this is that you can gain the range +1 trait. So on top of a steep hill with Hawkeye, your rocks can do some crazy damage.
Yep.
So
Just
that's
throw more
pretty
rocks.
freaking sweet, dude.
Yeah.
Especially with the card that we haven't revealed, which is the next card. Make it easier.
Shall we
Segue.
just
Yeah,
we go
Let's
into
do it. This
Let's
is
do
one
it.
of the best cards in the
So,
set, guys.
okay, before
My
we do
favorite
this, let's
card.
just prep this, guys.
No,
We're
that's my
about to
favorite.
be like super happy because this is.
This
I
is
think-
my favorite card I've ever
Yeah,
made.
I think the community has been
Period.
asking for
Oh, yeah.
something like this for I don't know ever since the Warlord came out. Okay, so let's do it.
Yeah, ever.
Let's do it.
The Strategist Helm.
Yeah.
Dirt cheap.
Yeah, Matt, do you just want to tell us what priority means really quick, just for?
Okay, so priority. A lot of if you play Mage Wars regularly, you'll know a lot of cards have the text on them before or after a friendly creature action phase or something to that effect. Priority is a way for us to put all of those words into one word. This is all it is. So basically, anytime before or after a friendly creature action phase, you can do this. So that excludes first quick cast, final quick cast, and arena. It's during the creature actions. When you have priority, you may do a priority effect. So when it's your turn, essentially.
Yep.
Oh
Warlord
my
Sharkbait.
goodness, this card. I know everybody that's looking at this card right now probably didn't hear a thing Ash just said because they're just like, oh my god. So let me just say, I
They
think
immediately started building a book.
yeah, right? Like, I think a lot of people, they look at battle orders and they go, okay, if I have just an extra action, I guess I'll do battle orders. It's kind of good, kind of not. But with this making it a free action, suddenly those extra little buffs that weren't really worth the action you used are suddenly like, yes, I'm going to build my book
Why
to
wouldn't
give
I?
commands around.
This
Yeah.
is an
So
instant dissolve, by the way.
Oh, it may be, but
And you're running at least 3 of them.
That's cool.
One thing I will note is that it doesn't say that you only have to use it once per turn. However, the Warlord's ability cards do say that once
Yeah,
per
they
turn.
all say that.
Once per turn, you can use your battle orders. So it's not as awesome as it looks at first, but it is still really awesome.
Yeah,
It is
you can't
This
just
stacks-
stack a bunch of
It's
orders. Yeah.
it stacks with your command ring
Yep.
or your commander's cape, which means that you can not only have a free action, but it can be mana-less
So
to
a
do
free action.
the arena warlords battle orders. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of Academy games, I think it's very common, at least the games that I tested with, a lot of people had the cape and they had the helmet, and they were just like 2 mana around every round. As long as I'm getting at least 2 creatures attacking, it's worth the 2 melee for the 2 mana. And it's something if you have
Absolutely.
3 creatures, the free action of it makes it so much value.
And suddenly, if your mage benefits from them,
Yep.
Yes, exactly. You only
Yeah,
need one other creature to make it valuable, but then
It
you have
is-
2 others, and you're like, oh my god.
It is good for all 3 warlords in various ways, and I don't think I mean, even in the testing, you can't test everything. We have not probed all of the depths of this card yet, honestly.
Yeah.
So what I want to ask right now, and this is kind of a joke, but only kind of. Please stop complaining that the warlords only have 9 channeling now.
Oh my god, I know, right?
No, seriously, stop.
Yeah, now we just need a helmet that lets the priest get his burn ability for no mana, right?
Hey, man.
Alternate priests. I would be down with that.
I'm making a note.
Priest
There's
Academy.
already an alternate.
Priest Academy. Yeah. I don't know if we'd ever do that.
Yeah,
But,
so this helm is awesome.
But, I mean, there's a ton of combos you can do. Suddenly, you're looking at all the battle orders. Something like, oh, the guard on Bloodwave, I can get melee 1, armor 1. That might be worth it now to do that battle orders because I'm gonna guard with my mage, and suddenly I'm already guarding with all these other guys too. I mean, someone in the chat's mentioning the horn. You can make it arena wide, and now that your mage is benefiting, suddenly that ranged or the piercing 2 is suddenly worth it to do now. Almost all the time.
Oh, that wall I described earlier is now it's
The
a free
wah?
action. I can also cast Akira's Battle Cry and combo with it.
The fast is so nice to do.
That free action to make yourself fast for the turn.
And I mean, I know I made a Bloodwave Goblin book where basically I gave everyone charge, and my mage was just charging with them, and it was just really fun, just to combo a bunch of stuff.
Did
And,
you guys reveal the goblin card from this set by any
No,
chance?
we haven't.
Okay.
I want people to know.
No, but we've alluded to at least twice now.
We don't need to. I was just curious.
If you want to say something about it, we don't have to reveal the card, but you know,
Multiple creatures with 1 full action.
that's all we'll say.
Yeah, we'll review that one for sure.
Oh my god. Oh
Yeah,
my
it'll
god, Goblin's
come
gonna
out
be
this
so much
week.
fun to play. That's all I'm saying.
One thing that I really like that this card does is it opens up a much more tactical warlord play, because it's not a question of if you will ever use the battle orders anymore. It's the question of what is the opportune moment in this round to use this ability that I only get once a round and make the most out of it, and minimize the amount of things my opponent can do to counteract that ability that I just used. It's just so much more. It feels so warlord to me to get those tactical, in the moment decisions
Yep.
that involve using your creatures to their maximum effect.
Oh,
So, to go, to give a little insight here, I'll make this quick because I'm trying not to drag this out. The reason this card exists is, so Brian Pope, the creator of Mage Wars, who guides the design process of all of these, said to me going into this that I want this version of the Warlord to be more strategic than the other ones. And my first thought was, well, then he should be able to do battle orders way easier than the other Warlords. He should be able to issue commands easier. So that was immediately, this was the first card, the very first card I designed for this set. Other than wording changes, it has not been changed.
Yeah, they worked out really well in testing.
Everyone loves it.
And I don't think you can consider it broken in any fashion.
I think it just lets people use the abilities that were already there.
And the chat actually, Harry asked in the chat if the Helm of Command will ever get used again. The funny thing is, actually, yeah. I think an Anvil Throwing Warlord, as it's pointed out, Anvil Throwing Warlord with a rune on it still makes that helmet good. So you actually have choices now, not just in automatically include this one because it's
there are 2 command spells that are strikes in this set that I think will pair very well with the Helm of Command.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Sweeping strike.
There are also some cards that I'm currently working on for future sets that will work very well with it, but we won't get into that. But note, there's more love for Helm of Command coming in the future.
Yeah, just for examples, Harry, by the way, the Helm of Command, I really think right now, using it like Charge or Battle Fury for like Iron Golem builds, that's really where you want to go with that. It's less commandy, more like I want to call my Golem to do something very specific. It's sort of the Earth part, I always look at it as. You know what I mean? That being said, why don't we move on to our last card today? This is also a card.
As far as I'm concerned.
A little preface to this card, right? So this set, you've seen the halberd costs 4,
Yes.
the cape costs 3, the helm costs 2, and there are a couple of pieces of leather in this set that we're not revealing because that would be boring.
They follow the standard leather rules: 2 mana novice.
2 mana, 1 armor novice.
We should reveal them.
So this next card allows an instantly helpful set of gear.
God. Okay, so yeah, this card probably brought a bunch of hype, and I'm just going to bring that hype up again. Like, the amount of options from this card, I think, are pretty cool. So let's do this.
And the way you play it in Academy and Arena is totally different.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very, very different.
All right, guys, feast your eyes on Gear Up!
Yeah.
Epic Warlord only for a good reason.
Yeah.
It's essentially Mage cast, but we don't have that in Academy, so it's spelled out in the first sentence.
Right?
Right.
Yep.
So Gurmash couldn't cast it. It is a command spell, so you do get it for 1 mana cheaper. Yeah, that's nice.
Or 2 if you have both the cloak and the ring.
You get really cheap at that point. That's interesting.
So, Shark, you want to lead this one, man?
Sure. So, yeah, imagine, well, it's Warlord. Let's go with the Academy start first. So, you have an Academy round. The first round, you cast something relatively cheap. And the second round, you go ahead, well, I kind of need some stuff.
Yeah.
You use Gear Up.
Yep.
Or you just do that in the third round and punch something with it. I like doing that, too. Both of those are
My favorite opening is playing cheap creatures round 1 and 2, and then on round 3 immediately Gear Up.
Then you gear up with a
Gear
halberd
up and hit something.
and suddenly you have enough stuff that you start stabbing things. Oh, and by the way, you can do the free action melee at this point right afterward because it's a quick cast, and then you stab something for like $1 million. It's only half a million, maybe.
Good. You know, it's let's just talk about Academy first. What I've noticed is things like, you know, but we just talk about the mana cost of all the helms and stuff like that. It is pretty cheap just to cast Gear Up. And even if you only do 2 spells, it's worth it. Like, if you just do the halberd and the helmet, and then you immediately do a command spell, you can get some nice benefit out of that. Also, you know, because, you know, you get the immediate command spell after that. It costs a lot of mana, but it's nice. The ability to get 3 is also sort of a... Since the Warlord doesn't really have healing spells, this is kind of an ability for him to be like, oh, I'm in a bad spot. Let me put on a bunch of leather really quickly, because I'm going to be taking damage. It's going to stink, but, like, this is my only way I'm going to survive. Is to
for 8 mana, you without buffs, for 8 mana, you can gain 3 armor across 3 different pieces of equipment.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's
I would like to point out a couple of things about this. We did say it was Warlord, but the other limiting factor to this is that it is epic. You can do this once per game.
Yeah. And it is level 2.
And it's level 2, so in Academy, it's a significant part of your spellbook. But the Battle Forge from Arena is not obsolete.
Oh no,
Uh,
no, absolutely is not.
no. Like for your
Which is a-
Warlord.
Big part of the reason why it's epic. I did not want to make anything obsolete with this
Yeah, I
card.
think obsolete's the wrong word. Now, it will probably change. Your book will be designed differently if you're going to run a gear up. I don't know how often you'll run both gear up and the forge. However, I think you can design it to be you relying on one or the other and be just fine.
It makes construction art a little bit weaker, but that's not a big deal. I think.
Eh.
Yeah, I don't think it's really affecting it that much.
It depends on the book. The design of
And-
the book is completely different. That's all. You just have more.
The arena books that I'm using this in primarily are creature heavy warlords, and this is my one shot get 3 pieces of equipment on.
Yep. Same here, actually. That's
Now you can also equip, if you have a ton of mana saved up, you could equip Heart's Forge Plate, Regrowth Belt, and Mage Wand with this thing. Like you can get some
Yeah.
serious
I mean-
punch with this spell.
I mean, you can do things like if you know they're gonna have acid balls and you want to preserve armor, you could do Waterfall Cloak, Colossus Belt, and something else. The
The tempered folds.
The
Yeah.
folds probably.
So- I think a good opener with this is turn 1, you play the cloak and the ring that reduces command spell costs. Turn 2, you play this for free and put on the soldier reduction ring and a couple other useful pieces of equipment. And now you're getting 3
And then
mana
you-
discounts per
right.
round if you play right for the rest of the game. You've essentially gained 3 channeling for not a ton of mana if you play right.
Yeah. There's some serious engine building players will love the cards in this set. It'll be
It
awesome.
did become very combo-y engine kind of thing, which is kind of cool.
And if you think they cast a nullify on you, you can cast it on the enemy mage and then cast 3 pieces of equipment on yourself. Boom.
Why you got to break my cards, man?
Why you gotta do
Why you
this?
gotta break
Just
cards?
saying. Be pretty fun.
Yeah,
You know.
that probably needs an errata.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't at all.
Whoops.
No, that's
I don't know that
awesome.
anybody will ever do that.
No, who's
Because
gonna
it's
do
rain,
that?
you have to be in
Who's
the
gonna
zone
do
with them.
that?
Yeah.
Dang it! I should have made it. Do we have a self-target line? We should have a self-target line.
I'm gonna be honest, it doesn't change anything.
It doesn't
Nobody's
change
gonna do
anything.
that.
I just think it's funny because
I'm still doing disarm to break and
I will
nullify.
totally just cast this on the enemy mage just to mess with them. You know?
Oh, Wait, you're doing what?
I'm casting this on you.
Wasting an epic spell to mess with the other mage.
You're not wasting it. You're just
High level trolling right there.
you're still getting 3 pieces of equipment on yourself.
Yeah, it is pointed out that for 2 mana you can also get Champion's Gauntlets with gear up.
Absolutely, champion.
You can put on your big beat stick and protect it and get something else out.
You can do champion's gauntlets and a pair of utility boots and a wand all in
Not
one
bad.
shot.
I'm telling you, gauntlets, halberd, and cape. Those are relatively cheap. It's like in an arena that's like a turn of channeling. You can save up a little bit for that, and then you just
Yeah,
stab
that's
something.
not a bad idea. Like critical strike, things like that will let you have piercing 4 with the halberd, and suddenly you're swiping at everything, you know.
Yeah.
I think that another good tactic would just be 2 wands with the champion's gauntlets. You know, because that lets you be super offensive. Because you could have like Battle Fury and Rock or something like that, so you can just get more damage out of both wands and things like that.
Yeah. That'd be
So, note that for now that might be good, but in the future, there will be cards that destroy multiple pieces of equipment in one shot as well.
Multiple pieces of equipment.
If it's not called Daka multiple explosions, I don't want it.
No, you want
chain
Chain
explosion.
explode. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what you want, Stark.
Yeah, I
Chain
want to
explode.
explode. I would pay a lot of
Chain
mana.
explo- I would love.
Things. That's the name of the card.
I would love a multiple explode card. That would be so awesome.
That will be so expensive, though.
I would pay it. I would pay it,
The
man.
removal cost and the casting cost of each equipment, totally worth it.
Oh, dude.
Like,
Like, if,
actually, 16 mana to destroy 2 would be to get the 2 attacks would be about right.
Hey, we just designed the card.
Dragon Scale Halberd, Tempered Folds. Blow them both up. Done.
That'd be my favorite day ever. That'd be my favorite day ever.
Yeah. So that's pretty much all the cards. I don't know if
Note
you
to
guys
self: don't print any fire cards.
have... I love fire.
Oh man.
But I like messing with shark more than I like fire.
So it's probably going to be a water spell, is what you're saying.
Water
That'd
explosion.
be awesome.
No, it'd be like acid
Like I don't know,
deluge.
solve or something.
That's such a lame spell. Nobody plays that.
Oh my god. So yeah, I know we want to try to cut this short. We've been going for 43 minutes, so
Yeah.
that's all we got. There are other really awesome cards that we didn't actually spoil, but I think people can get a main idea of what we're trying, or what the set is trying to do in terms of helping the Warlord. And I know a lot of people said that the Paladin's just superior to the Warlord in a lot of ways, and I really think that this kind of makes it obvious that they are different mages in so many ways.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, they play very different now.
There were many cards in this set that I had the opportunity to do War Mage only and opted to do Warlord only to help draw that line a little better.
Yeah,
Gear Up was one of them.
That was a good job.
definitely.
Gear Up is definitely one of them. Obviously, the formations were another big one.
Yeah.
You know, I did not.
Formations are just going to be amazing.
There was no
to play
reason
with.
a paladin should be running those.
Right.
No, there isn't. Okay, any last words from anyone about this awesome set?
That helmet's awesome.
All these cards are awesome. That is only 5 cards. I know we've done 6 in the past, but we did say a few things about maybe some other cards that are in here.
We did mention 2 leather pieces, so that's like doing 7 because everybody knows what leather pieces do.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, man.
And we mentioned a goblin of some kind.
We
But-
did.
And we mentioned that there's another strike in here somewhere. Anyway, so
You haven't previewed the strike card?
we
did one,
did
didn't we?
Sweeping Strike.
Oh, the other one's so awesome.
I know. I wanted to
we
do that,
we need
but
some surprises.
Yeah,
No,
but
I agree.
No,
I'm
'cause
not going to say anything
all the
other
cards are
than
awesome.
I am
Sweeping
running this
Strike has
out
the
of
best art in
school
the
and
set.
multiple mages currently.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially
Sweeping
the
Strike is the best art in the set. I'm just saying.
It's pretty cool.
I think it was the first time we've ever depicted blood in art.
Right?
Yeah.
Cutting
I know.
dudes in half.
It's
so we are actually going to do a full review in the near future of the whole set.
All the
Put it up on
cards.
the Arcane Duels channel.
Every card.
So you guys will get to see that probably right before Gen Con. We'll release that one.
We'll
But this is
probably
the
live
last
stream that
spoiler
one,
video.
I guess.
So we just do it after Gen Con, right?
No, we do it before so that people just race and buy it all.
So you want to buy
Use it
them all.
anyway.
Lars is going to do it anyway. He's going to buy it.
Yeah.
But you should
40
be
of-
entering in the
Absolutely.
Mage Wars tournaments at Gen Con too. If you're not signed up, sign up.
Oh yeah, it's almost full, as I know. So get your tickets
Yeah,
now.
let's get that. Let's make it more than full. So next year we'll have more slots.
That's
Yeah.
good, man.
I would sign up, but I'm not going to be there.
What the heck?
Disappointed.
Sad.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
Hashtag sad.
play-
Okay.
All right, catastrophe.
So I'm going to shut down the stream. Thanks for joining
Cool.
us, everyone who like join us live. Feel free to comment on our YouTube below. If you have questions and stuff, I can answer them. Or if you just
Yeah.
love the set, I'll give you a thumbs up, and that'll say something like, yeah.
Or you
If
could
you
talk
just
on
like
the
the
forums too.
If you dislike the set, don't take it out on Koshade. Hit Ash up in the PM on the forums.
All Puddinhead's fault.
Yes.
No. I will take credit for Isabela's attack name, though. I will take credit for that one.
Okay.
You should, because you harassed me about that for weeks until I finally changed it.
Right?
It was like 3 weeks before I actually changed it. I kept saying, yeah, I'll do it, and then I never did it.
That's right.
I did a
Oh,
cyber
God.
slap to your face.
Change it. Okay, take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
Good night.